Mic check 1 2. 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 Check. All you're getting is fans. All right, if you're online and you're tuned in, we apologize for the delay. We're dealing with a few technology issues here on the Hill, but we're going to get started. And basically, we're going to work you through the sows. We'll do all of the bread sows first, and then we'll go to bread gilts, and then we'll go to open gilts. So if you're following along, that'll be the order. I'll do my very best to try to get you lot numbers. The folks that know me the best know that I know these sows as ear notch and certainly not lot number. And so I apologize in advance if I get that wrong, but we'll do our best to talk about them as their lot identity today. And if you've got your catalog pulled up at home, you can certainly fact check me as we go along. But the whole purpose of this today is for the folks that are here on the Hill. They showed up and invested time to see these in person. They wanted to see the sows, see the females, see the opportunity with their own eyes, and we certainly appreciate them being here. And for those of you online, if you get tired of this angle, you can go to showpig.com, and we did video all of these sows and gilts in the exact same spot this past week, and Boots and I provided commentary there at showpig.com. So you can see each lot on that site. So again, if this angle isn't sufficient, go there and you'll see a more comprehensive look of each one of these females. Oh. Okay, first up is 34-8. We call this one the red-headed sow around here. This is lot 39 in your catalog. She's out of the King. The King was a King of the Hill son that was at Moyer Genetic Edge. This sow's mother was a dirty deal, and this sow literally is, I would call her 6 inches shorter legged, but an exact replica of her belted mother. This sow that she's out of would have had this sort of shape, this sort of look, that kind of spread. I mean, her pin set is genuine. She generates that kind of muscle. This one is bred to, I believe she's bred to One Way. That's the boar there at Genetic Edge. He's a lead the way son. We heard a lot of really good things about that boar. We do have one litter in the fairing house now. I think she had 13 that look outstanding, and feel really good about this mating. That's a boar that Ben Moyer certainly recommended. We've heard good things. We really like this mating. This sow, I will tell you, she's got, Boots would like to say it this way, she sees people or hears voices. But her pigs, they've got that sort of presence, and I think that's an important attribute once in a while. They've got to have kind of that alertness that she does. But everything you're seeing there is that's generations of muscle. She's got as much muscle, genuine muscle, as anything in the sale from a shape standpoint. Again, that was 34.8, lot 39. That's the redhead. I want to pay a little homage to the last redhead we had around here, which was 75-8. That sow would have produced the Reserve Grand Barrow at Fort Worth in 16, and she would have been a feature in the 2017 sale. So kind of there's a lot of resemblance between that redheaded sow and this one, and we're, whatever it is, 8 years past that. The next one that came out here that's looking at you, that she's probably not on camera right now, is 81-8. She's a Cricket's Kingpin. 81-8 would be cataloged as lot 35, and that's the one that Max has here in front of you. She's got the big tail, the really stout head. She's the heavy structured Cricket's kind is what I would call her. The folks that were here a year ago, you probably remember seeing that set of blue Cricket's daughters that we sold. This one's cut from the same mold as that. She's 3 or 4 generations deep and built the brand pedigrees. She'd be Cricket's Kingpin, sky's the limit, priceless. And this one's bred to cut the cord, and that's a solid white boar that we're going to show you here later that we retained here at the farm. He's a white feather son out of a top-selling gilt in this sale a few years ago. I think we've got 3 of these 81s in the sow herd. This one's got the most blue. She's been as consistent and steady as any. Her sisters, or one of them's already farrowed, and the other one's due really, really late, and we elected to leave her out. But there's a lot to like here, especially if you're a fan of the Cricket's kind. Again, that would be 81-8. She's lot 35 in your catalog. The next one that's coming, I believe we're going to bring that pair of 58s. Is that right, Carl? So the 58s in your catalog, they're on a 2-page spread together. That's lot 27 and 28 if you turn to that page. And these would be littermate sisters. 58-8 has more blue than 58-5. And another cool built-to-brand story, we would have offered the mother of these two as a half-interest opportunity a couple years ago. Went Livestock and G&S Swine from Ohio teamed up and bought that female, and it was a 50% opportunity, so we became partners with the Sproul crew and the Went family. And that sow was an absolute gilt factory, and I think these 2 gilts really, really represent the kind that sow generated. These would be Anthem daughters. Anthem was a Dirty Secret distinct boar that we had here at the farm. So full pedigree. Anthem, no introduction, Provoked, Dirty Secret. If you study the catalog, I mentioned this same Dirty Secret sow multiple times. Her notch was 240-10. I still believe that she was the heaviest structured blue sow we've ever sold in this sale. If you study the blue-eyed one that's on camera right now, that's 58-5. Her great-grandmother would have been very similar in terms of bone, foot, overall just sheer density, very similar. So again, -8 is the more blue one. -5 has got blue eyes. -5, I believe the blue one on the far side is bred to Wide Awake. And this one right here is bred to Fast Track at Moyers. And, neither one of those boars at this point should need an introduction. Our top grossing litter there in the spring showcase was out of Fast Track. And that's how we've got this one bred right here. I think a very complementary mating. And, if you're in the business right now and you say, man, I'd really like to add a blue dimension to my sow herd or a blue dimension to my pig crop, these definitely need to be considerations. Boots has pointed out last night, he went to great length to point out that this is not an ordinary opportunity in this sale, Kevin. Typically, we do not sell sows carrying their second litter. The one that Carl is driving would have had Nature Boys in our April pig sale. The one Max is driving would have had Witness pigs in our April sale. They were both really well represented, did a great job first time through the crate. Again, lots of blue sky here, lots of opportunity, especially for the folks that see value in raising better blue ones. We've done a lot of the hard work here for you. You're going to take home females that will generate blues consistently, regardless of how you made them, and they should be long-term foundations for anyone's program. Again, Carl's got 58.5, which I believe is lot 27. Max has 58.8, which would be lot 28. We will choice those in the sale today, so You'll have an opportunity, high bidder will get to pick between those two sows, or if they're really super savvy, they can just walk them both, Kevin. The next one coming is Lot 7, and this is I know this is a personal favorite of the crew around here. This would be 30-12, and I'd like to point out her ears. We actually do have winter in northeast Missouri, and we do have sows outside, and occasionally frostbite will creep in, and her ears have been exposed to some pretty cold temperatures. With all respect to our friends from Minnesota, it does get cold in the sunny south. This has been an incredible generator for us. Lot 7, if you study this sow's udder, it looks this way for a reason. She is a supreme pig raiser. She milks a lot of pigs, historically raises a lot of pigs. Boots mentioned that the gilt out of her last year that would have been champion market gilt and 4th overall at Exarban for the Murphy family. I see Cole here in attendance. That gilt was a -12. I think we actually sold a -14 in that litter as well. She's a Wags on the top side. If I could mass produce blue butt sows in this mold, this size, this proportionality, this immaturity through her front end, that kind of rear leg structure and flexibility and comfort, I would mass produce this kind of female for any show pig environment or any show pig enterprise. And I think you'd be money ahead, time over. But this is Lot 7, and she sells up the line here tonight. We do believe we've got a lot of faith in this particular sow to be a generator. She's bred to Kong, and I can tell you that, what we've learned from Kong, if you take Kong to those sows that are really fundamental, that are very basic, that have some immaturity about their front end, some length and extension up front, it can be absolutely deadly, and that's where we see really, real value in this mating. Her bred to Kong we think will be awesome. She looks heavy bred. I think this is a tremendous opportunity. And again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but there's a lot of folks that talk the talk about wanting to make better blue ones. And there's a lot of ways to get there. You can start with Yorkshires. You can start with Yorkshire sires. You can start with a random white one somewhere. But if you start with a blue one like this, it has several generations of blue females in her pedigree, you're going to be so far ahead down the road with where you're at. And I think even old Cale Boyson that's sitting here in the crowd, I think he would agree with that if you really, truly want to make good blue ones, having a foundation like this sow is a great place to be. That's 30-12, Lot 7. What's wrong, Todd? 8-9 underline. We probably should advertise that. 8-9. Yes. She is a pig raiser. Yep. And again, her mother, her grandmother, her great-grandmother would have all sold through this sale over the years. The hothead sow that's in that pedigree was one that was a supreme pig raiser, and that's where a lot of her productivity comes from, was that 37-8 sow that you'll find in the pedigree. We've got a pair of sisters coming. These are the 206s in your catalog. These would be 16 and 17. 16 would be the black one with white socks that Karl is driving. She's the closest to the hoop, the farthest from the camera. 206-7 would be the belted one that's directly in front of the camera now that Max just picked up. These are littermate sisters. They're sired by Gangster. Gangster was a Goosepump son that we bred here. We sold him as a little pig, and he actually stayed intact, showed as a jackpot pig in Oklahoma for a while, stirred a lot of folks up, and if I've ever had seller's remorse on one pig, it was Gangster. I really, really had seller's remorse, and we did everything we could to use that boar when he was in Oklahoma, and then when we had a chance to bring him back here, we brought him back, and he really, really generated an impressive set of females that you're going to see here today. These two are sisters. They are bred very close to the 15s that are also in the catalog. These would be granddaughters of 217-13 that has her own page in the catalog, and there's a big reason for that. In 217-13's career, we kept more direct daughters out of that sow than any other sow in the history of our program. And, for the folks that know us well, I think that's a very significant statement. And if you're really genuinely interested in buying something that has some staying power that can generate daughters for years to come, tie into anything that's related to 217-13, and you'll be money ahead. The 206-4 again is the black or the white socked one. She would be lot 16. 2067 is the belted one. She would be lot 17. I'm going to tell you here what they're bred to because I don't remember. -4, the socked one is bred to Fast Track at Genetic Edge, and the belted one again is bred to Kong. And you know, again, Boots and Karl both highlighted this last night. I mean, we tried very, very hard to get these sows bred the right way from a complementary approach most of the time. This belted one, again, she has that sort of front end, that immaturity about her that I think is really ideal for Kong. Her skeleton's very loose. She's very comfortable. And again, the socked one on the far side is bred to Fast Track. Lot 16 and lot 17. Any questions, Cole? You're good? Okay. We have the NSR intern on hand here today, Colonel. We do, yeah. I didn't quite see any NSR gear on the NSR intern, but oh. Okay, we've got certainly a sale highlight coming in here, and these are the 83-liter sisters. And for those of you that were here in 22, these actually sold as prospect gilts, Kevin, in 2022. These are sired by Snooze. Snooze was a stay classy that we bought as a young boar pig at perfect timing from Jeremy Cantrell. Snooze's mother was an American bad boy daughter that Cantrell would have bought out of the slap barn, and for her time, in her days, she was easily the heaviest structured female that we'd ever let leave the slap barn. Snooze did an awesome job of generating females, and that's certainly a boar that, if given the opportunity, certainly would deserve another chance to make daughters. The Stay Classy lineage has had a lot of staying power in our industry. That was certainly a boar that was lost way too soon. Karl is driving the belted 83, that's 83.8. Max is driving the black-headed one, that's 83.11. Those are lots 25 and 26 in your catalog. The belted one, this is a typo in your catalog. The belted one is bred to Trippy. And Boots talked about this last night. Trippy is a young boar there at Luke Lidner's in Texas that we sampled on a few sows. We've actually got the Carol's sister. These two, we've got their mother also bred to Trippy. But Trippy's there at Luke's. That's a young boar that Luke is really, really high on, and we're excited to have some sows bred to him. The black-headed one's bred to Kong. You know, I could talk for a long time about Kong. There's a whole page in the catalog dedicated to that boar and what he's done for our program. I believe there's 12 that are bred to him in the sale. I probably don't have to tell many of you what that sort of investment cost to breed these sows to that boar. But for what we spent on semen in the first set of pigs and what we've spent on semen for the crop that we're preparing now, it's been a tremendous, tremendous difference maker for our program. These pigs work. They work on our sows. And, you know, if you read what I wrote about Kong, I think we were in a really unique opportunity as a program because our sow herd did not have the influence of a lot of the boars in his pedigree. And I think I could point to that as a big reason why he works so well for us. You know, Kong, for a lot of folks, would not have been an outcross. But for us, we don't have the boars in his pedigree in our sow herd. And I think that really presents a great opportunity for you as the buyer. Karl, I mean, we didn't have a bad litter of Kongs. We really didn't. We didn't have bad pigs out of Kong. And we weaned a set of pigs the other day. Boots got to see them the day after we weaned them. I think there were 8 litters of Kongs in there, and they were phenomenal. And so we're very bullish on Kong here. We've got a couple Kong sons we're going to use. We certainly sold a couple that I know will be very, very well received this summer as folks get around and look at young boars. But you know, this black-headed sow bred to Kong, I think that can be incredible. Her belted sister bred to Trippy, I think can be awesome. Again, these are the 83-liter sisters. They're out of Snooze on Carol's sister. They represent one of the very, very best sow families we've ever had here, lots 25 and 26. These two sows were late additions, and probably against better judgment, we elected to put them in here. We're back. So this pair of sows, this was, I don't want to call it an afterthought because it was not an afterthought, but this was an effort for really two things. Number one, to get a couple sows, again, that were sort of in their prime of their career. They're carrying their fourth litter. And then secondly, recognizing the opportunity to offer a couple sows that are due a little bit later. If you study the catalog, there was a big push to get a lot of these sows to farrow in June. These two are due just a little bit later, and Todd Kennedy's here today. He will tell you the importance of having some litters in this age. I think a lot of folks would agree that the industry sort of ran out of pigs last year when we got into some of those younger pigs that a lot of the public is starting to realize they need that age of pig, and I think these two are bred for a very, very high-value opportunity later in the season. The one that Karl has is 69-11. She's a no-intro little bro. The one following her is 68-7, and she is a no-intro Goosebumps. Both of these are out of sows that would have sold in the sale in the past. The mother of Karl's would be a litter mate to the little bro bear that was at Houston a couple years ago. That 69-11 sow, I really want to point out, she would have had absolutes early on. That litter was the 105s. Nate Myers in Indiana would have bought a gilt out of that litter that found the backdrop, but more importantly, she landed in the sow herd at Tres Amigos, and she had an incredibly high-value litter this spring. Karl, did they have 6 or 7 pigs out of that litter, I think, in their sale, which I think is very significant. Not only did they sell well, it was a very deep litter, and those would have been out of a direct daughter of 69-11. She's bred to Magic Box, and you'll get a chance to see him a little bit later. Max has got 68-7, and this is another derivative of our very, very best sow family over time. This one's mother would be a litter mate to the bear that Ty Murphy showed that won both days at the Red River Show in Texas. Grandmother here on the bottom side would be Carol's mom. Typically you see sows with this sort of pattern, and her build and her lines, they usually don't come with a tail that big, Jim, and they usually don't come with a skull that big. And, I've heard Jim McCoy talk a lot on videos in the last couple of years, and, Jim is as good as anybody at talking the generators. Generator, Jim. I was looking for you. I was thinking you're over here, but this one reads like a generator. If I've ever heard Jim say one reads like a generator, it's this one. And she's bred to Wide Awake, and I think a tremendous opportunity here on 68-7. Again, you're tying into a tremendous sow family. Oh, sorry. This one is lot 22. Sorry, lot 22 here. This is 68-7. The other one was lot 23. That was 69-11. Again, a pair of no intros. I mean, I can remember conversations with Todd Kennedy after no intro sold, and we talked a lot about how popular that boar was, and we both agreed that, it was great that he was being used, but the daughters of that boar over time were going to have a lot of value. It's certainly a testament to John Mollett and his program. We're seeing that in living color here today. 112-10 is up next. This is an Anthem. This is lot 30. This is an Anthem Kingpin. Again, Anthem was that dirty secret, distinct boar we had here at the farm. This one's got a Kingpin decked out mother on the bottom side. That decked out sow would have been one that I think, Todd, you bought her for Donnie back in the day. She was bred to Gangster, had a tremendous litter of Gangster pigs for Donnie. That would have been the grandmother of this one. Again, she's got a Kingpin sow that would have sold last year. This one just had a tremendous litter out of Magic Box, and we've got her bred to, somebody help me out here. She's bred to Kong and Sugar. Yes, this one's split bred. She was standing on the third day, and we kind of decided, why not? We'll give you a chance to see Sugar, and I think you'll agree that this sow really complements him. But again, I want to point out the looseness, the comfort, the extension, the immaturity of this sow, and how we view that as the perfect mating for Kong. And based on what we've seen here at the farm, I think this is another really, really good opportunity for a high-value litter out of that boar that's no doubt going to have an incredible summer. Okay, the one with the full belt that Boots has is 13-6, and this is lot 42. This one actually comes from our buddies there at True Genetics in Indiana. I was having one of my nights, my guys know me pretty well, that I've been prone to be on the internet of an evening on a busy sale night and just buy random stuff. They call it random. I call it intentional, Kevin. But The 13-liter gilts, I believe we started with a trio of these. Carl, is that right? There were 3 of them. We sold one of them in our showcase sale back in November. This one had already farrowed. But these are Daughters of Soul. They're out of a family tie sow on the bottom side that's been really, really good for the True program. This sow's been a great generator. We sold her sister bred to Kong in November. She did an awesome job for that guy and certainly paid for herself. We've got this one bred the same way. That's 13-6, lot 42. She's bred to Kong. The other one out here is lot 34. This is 223-8. She's an acoustic. Now I want you to follow along here in our pedigree. Her mother was a littermate to King Me, and that means that she was a kingpin on King of the Hill and Little Bro's sister. So, of course, Kingpin was a King of the Hill son. Kingpin and Little Bro's sister would have been a dirty Annie Up hillbilly. Acoustic was a boar that we had from Stolquist that really generated back shape and spread up high, and this sow certainly got that, and she generates that. But this would be lot, excuse me, lot 34, 223-8, and this one's bred to Good News. Good news is the boar that we bought in the womb, he was actually a pick of a litter that we bought from Lober Show Pigs in the exchange. He shares the same sow as Kong. So he's a maternal brother to Kong. He's a quite frankly son. Based on the way the boar looks and the way that we used him, I think this is another example of a very complimentary pedigree. We've got some pigs out of Good News in the crate. They look very, very good. And, you know, I said this in the catalog. Good News does not look the same as Kong. I think Good News is probably a better representation of quite frankly. And I certainly think in our industry right now that's not a bad thing to be in the same mold as quite frankly. Max is driving a sale highlight for sure. This is lot 5, 245-4. She's a rule breaker, Goosebumps, Dirty Secret. She would be the mother of the pair of boars we paraded a year ago, head first and deep end. Those were absolute sons. We've got a very, very, very good littermate sister to them. She would have had monies on the next litter. We've got a very good gilt from that litter to keep. We've got this one bred to Kong. And, you know, I've already talked a lot about Kong and what he's done for us. I think it's going to be incredible to see what the skulls look like on this litter of pigs, because you want to talk about matching power with power, feature with feature. I think this is going to be really, really fun to see. The grandmother here, I want to bring a little attention to that Dirty Secret sow. She would have been an open gilt purchase from our good buddy Kirk Swanson at 4K. There's some pliability. There's some real, genuine toughness in this sow and her red-belted sister that I really believe originated from that sow from Kirk. When you see the red-belted one, I think you'll really, really see it. This one was the show gilt. Geyers would have showed this one. She was 5th overall cross gilt at Louisville. She was a very good show gilt. She's been an even better sow. Again, this is 245-4, lot 5. She's bred to Kong. You like that one, Kevin? I think Stevie Wonder could have probably found her. Lot 41 is coming next. This is 131-7. This is a JoJo. She's a JoJo Goosebumps Dirty Secret. JoJo, again, if you haven't followed our program of late, the JoJo sows, JoJo was a never-before son from Fontenot, and those JoJo daughters have been remarkable for us. We sold a couple of them last year. A couple of the best and key highlights in this year's sale are JoJo daughters. This one's bred to Kong. Again, sounds like a broken record, but the same sort of comfort, the same sort of looseness, the same sort of extension, the same sort of immaturity, Kevin. And I would double down and tell you that the most predictable mating we had to Kong in the first crop was JoJo on the bottom side. The top selling litter in the December sale would have been Kong JoJo. The top selling litter in the January sale would have been Kong JoJo. It just flat works. And, this one's down the line in the catalog because she really didn't fit into a certain sire group or sow family. But don't interpret that position in the catalog to be relative of her quality, because it's certainly not. I do believe that this one's got a tremendous amount of upside. Again, this is 131-7, lot 41. She's a JoJo sow bred to Kong. I think I just heard Mick say that we had a skinny one coming. This is 240-9. This is another derivative of the 217-13 sow family. She's lot 15 in your catalog. This is a younger sow. Again, this is one of those that Boots looked at Karl and I and said, what the heck are you doing? What is your plan? What is your, why? What are you doing here? I can't say this about all of our sows. I can't tell you, Kevin, that they're all hairy, and I can't say they're all shaggy, and I can't say they're all moderate, and I can't say they're all heavy structured. I can say all of those things about this one. I can also tell you that she's really youthful. She's very young. She's backed by a tremendous sow family. She's a backdrop daughter. Of course, backdrop shouldn't need an introduction in our business. And her grandmother, again, is that sow that got a whole page to talk about her influence on our program. We've got this one bred to Fast Track. Again, Fast Track is the pace car son that our good buddy Hilty bred. He's at Moyer Genetic Edge. That board did a tremendous job for us here this season. We used him again. If you look at the breeding records, I can almost tell you that every time I got more semen from Ben on Fast Track, it was right after being in the nursery, or right after notching a set of pigs, or right after moving them to the show barn. It was very evident that we needed to re-up and use them again. And this mating right here is a product of lessons learned in the first crop. I think this will be an incredible mating. This is one of those sows that I would tell you is on the cusp. She's on the cusp of something really big. We've sold a handful of those over the years that weren't quite as proven, that were just waiting for an opportunity elsewhere, and I think this one's teed up for that opportunity. Tremendous feature, tremendous skeleton. 240-9, again, that's lot 15 in your catalog. Boots has got another one of these that's coming that I would call sort of on the cusp. This is 117-10. And this one is a daughter. Let me see. This is lot 9. Lot 9 in your catalog. This is 117-10. She's a daylight. No intro. Dirty Secret. The Dirty Secret sow would be Goosebump's sister. Her no intro mother would be 18-15. And that particular sow would have had the reserve Grand Barrow at Colorado last summer. We've got two outstanding sisters to that pig. This one's aunt would be 18-14. And also 18-13. 13 would have been the mom of the reserve cross at Houston last year. Really, really good lineage here. Awesome sow family. Another really young sow. She's carrying her third litter. Again, this is lot 9, 117-10, and this is another one we've got bred to Kong. And I hope that if you're following along here, the peanut gallery to my right, the folks here in the chairs, I hope you can see a pattern of what we've used Kong on. That is a lesson learned, Kevin. We learned a lot. Most all of it was really good, but we really found a wheelhouse for him as a sire, and really tried to replicate that here with this offering. We've got the highlight here of the bred gilt offering coming now. This is 105-10. And she's running with a few sows. Obviously, you can see that she's a little bigger than some of our other ones. This is what happens when a gilt gets shown a lot, and then she comes back to isolation. She ends up in isolation for a really long time, and then she finally comes to the hill to breed. The Platt family would have showed this one. This is 105-10. She's lot 101 in your catalog. This gilt was third overall at the North American on the green shavings. Travis gives us a really hard time because Travis takes them home from the show, and he's got a rod in them a week later and got them bred, Kevin. He never was quite sure why we didn't have this one hustled through the system, but this one's got quite a backstory. Her brother, littermate brother, that sold in the same online sale as this one, he was the Grand Barrow at Minnesota State Fair. Basically a maternal sib to this one. Littermate sow, same sire, would have been the grand overall gilt at Ohio State Fair for the foster crew. Another mate, I'll call it, out of another aunt of this one was Reserve Grand Barrow at the Kentucky State Fair the same summer. Incredible sow family behind this one. And oh, by the way, we've got her teed up. She's due, as you can tell, in just a few days. It looks like she's got more than 2 or 3 or 7. And we've got her bred to Wide Awake. She's due May 29th. I was trying to make sure I had the date right. So this is one that, if you're listening online, this is one that needs to be on the move here pretty quick. Bred to Wide Awake, sire of the year in our business. Incredible mating, incredible female, incredible sow family. I think this one really sort of sums up a lot of things, Kevin, for what we've tried to do in this Built the Brand sale. I'd love to keep her here in Fairwear, but the buying public has demanded that we offer this kind of female in this type of setting, and here she is for you. She's, I believe, 4th in the sale order today, lot 101. We elected to offer a pair of red sows. This is actually one that Max would have shown. This is 374-7 in your catalog. She's lot 45. She's out of Crybaby. Crybaby is a last drop on Rip's sister. The reason we used him back then was to really compound that last drop and Rip influence in our sow herd. This one actually goes back to a purchase from Rick Whitman on the bottom side. Max would have showed her to 5th overall purebred honors at the Missouri State Fair as a show gilt. I believe the most attractive thing about this opportunity here, Kevin, is she is bred to the boar we just sold in the draft. She is carrying one of the very first litters. We collected him, Karl, day 2 or 3, I think maybe day 2 when we got him home. This would have been one of the very first sows we bred. You'll be buying a triple bred Crybaby mating. And if you're not aware, we will run that boar out and you'll get a chance to see him. But Brock Thompson, the TBRO crew in Ohio bought that boar. We couldn't be more excited about where he's going. He's going to get a real chance to be a breeding hog for a program, and we're really excited about that. This sow is mated to him. You'll get a chance to see him in a minute. 378-7 is coming right behind her. This will be the other red sow, and when we get to these in the sale order, we will choice. High bidder will get choice. This is lot 44. This one's actually a Scuba Steve daughter. She was not a show gilt, if you can't tell, Mick. She's a Scuba Steve daughter. She is a litter mate to a boar that Chuck and Ben Olson would have bought in our boar bid off called Tailor Made. They used that boar for a year, I believe, Mick, and had an outstanding set of red hogs out of that boar. They were very, very pleased with him. I think they're very excited about the set of females they've kept. This one is bred to limited access, and Todd could probably talk longer about limited access here, but that's a boar that we've got breeding privileges with the crew at Savage to use that Bedecker bred boar. He's a limited edition son. That semen was not readily available to the buying public. Litters out of that boar will not be readily available to the buying public, and I think most folks will have to wait for the pig crop. These two sows are due a little bit later, so I don't want you to get a little spooked. They don't look quite as heavy bred as other ones. Again, Max, the darker colored one closest to the camera, that'd be lot 44. The one on the far side, bred to the draft boar, would be lot 45. We'll have to ask Karl. Karl and Brock, I think they check on each other about every day. Yeah, they're buds. We've got a really fun trio of Berkshire sows coming. Very proven. I think these sows really hit the mark on what we try to offer. This is a 100-6 that's coming first. This has been a bell cow, Kevin, for our Berkshire program. She would be the mother of a gilt Todd that we sold in the she sale. That fellow named Travis Platt, Northern Indiana, bought her out of the she sale. The boys, the Platt boys, found the backdrop a lot with that one. She ended her career as 4th overall at the Winter National in Perry. The coolest part about that story is they took her home, Kevin. They bred her, went back the following year at Perry and had the champion gilt and the champion barrow in the junior show out of that purchase. And those 2 pigs would be grandsons and granddaughters of this particular sow. This is 100-6, lot 46. She's a House of Cards, OTL. This one's bred to the Moon. At the initiative, that'd be the Goss bred boar. Again, 100-6, lot 46, bred to the Moon. Karl, has Brock named his draft boar yet? No. Yeah. He did see him. He stopped by and saw him. He and Watson. I really just wanted to be a fly in the truck on the way home. Huh? Yeah, I wasn't here. Max has got... Boots was very aggravated that this one's in the sale. This is lot 48. This is 65.5. She's a rooster daughter. Shout out to the Hogue crew, Nolan, the Berkshire enthusiast, and Mark and the family. We got Rooster. Rooster was running in the popper, I think, out back. He checking sows. We heard about Rooster. That's a true story, Kevin. Literally living in a popper, heat checking sows at Hogue Livestock. And, yeah, the popper was on the ground. We should preface that by the popper was on the ground. Short on pins, yeah. But we were really, really in need of just a different piece in the worst way. We just needed something to inject. And I tell you, we could walk through the dirt pins out here and look at the set of rooster females we've got, and we're really, really excited about them as a sire group. And this one, 65.5, really exemplifies what they look like as females. Her skeleton, her feature, the way this one's built and so comfortable in the way that she moves. And she's not a sissy. I mean, this one doesn't read like a sissy, but she's got such a feminine look to her. We've got her bred to walk off. Probably makes a few folks scratch their head, but Boots really thought we needed to make some Dirty Berks for the Southwest show season. We just had our first walk-off litter. They are black and white, very black and white. We didn't get any belts. We got all black and white Berkshire-looking pigs. And I think this is a tremendous opportunity because, Kevin, the cool thing is you can take this one home, farrower litter. Mick, you can run them to Oklahoma and sell them to all the folks for the shows in February and March. And then, oh, by the way, this one's got a pedigree. You can call whatever boar stud and breeder and have a tremendous litter of purebred Berkshires to sell at the Sweetheart sale in February of next year. They said that's a pretty good sale. February 14th. They say that's a pretty good pig sale. I don't know. Check your calendar. Huh? Oh, no commission. Really? That's like a love deal, like Valentine's love deal? So that's 65.5. That's lot 48. We're very, very excited about her. Ask any of us. I mean, I would feel really good about the future of that one. We've got her bred a little off-ballish this time, and that's okay. This is 1-5. This was a show gilt for the Cole family in California. Josh Cole, the older brother, would have showed this one and found the backdrop multiple times on the West Coast. The cool part was she came back here. We bred her to Hen House. Sammy Cole found the backdrop with a daughter. The champion Berkshire gilt at Phoenix was out of this one and Hen House. That one actually found her way to Montgomery, Texas. Boots reminded me that Josh and Carrie Brockman bought her. Josh really liked that one, and I think they're very excited to have a Berkshire in Montgomery, Texas, but this would be the mother. I think this one really is, she's such a different Berkshire in my opinion. Her attractiveness up front, you would think that this one might be a little frailer in her makeup. That's a huge tail. Proportionally, I think she represents all the proportional type of pig that everyone wants to talk about right now. She's been a really good pig raiser. We've got this one bred to Rule the Roost. That's the Hen House son that's at Upper Hand. Tremendous first crop of pigs out of him. I know Travis and the Platt crew, they've got a bear there in Indiana or a gilt. Is it a bear or a gilt that Everhart's have, Max? Gilt, yes. That's a Rule the Roost. It's done a really good job. I think this is a great mating. Again, we tried really hard to select some key purebred sows here that we felt really represented our program and provided the buyer with a great opportunity going forward. There's not many of them, but we feel like the quality is very, very high. Boots has got the only Hampshire, the purebred Hampshire sow in the offering. This is 317-14. This is lot 43. She's a hands-down daughter. Hands down would have been a boar that we had some semen interest in with the Savage crew. He would have been at Top Cut. I think Todd would agree that if he had the microphone, was a supreme female generator. The daughters out of Hands Down are a really big part of the Savage program. We don't have just a bunch of them, but of the ones that we have, this is by far and away the very best one. This would be the mother of the gilt that the Platte crew had that was 3rd overall at the Expo. We were very proud of that female, and I know she's doing work for the Platte crew there at their program in Indiana. This one's grandmother, I think, is key here. That's the Wrecking Ball sow that we would have bought in the Karl Peter dispersal several years ago. Wrecking Ball, Kevin, you remember that boar. He was the supreme outlier. You hated him. We saw real bone and structure in that pig at a time when we weren't always talking about it. That pig was crippled. Let's just call it like it was. He was crippled. Mick, I've never seen one that tough. He stood up the whole way home and wanted the gilt in the front of the trailer and wanted to beat the boar in the trailer behind him all the way home. He was crippled, for sure crippled. But the injection of structure and feature that he injected into our Hampshires was real. And so that Wrecking Ball influence is really neat. This one's bred to slow down. That's the boar at High Point that would have sired nearly all the good ones that Brent and crew had last time. And then our high dollar gilt this spring, the top selling gilt we had was a slowdown. She's due June 2nd. I think that's a great age of Hampshire for Perry, Denver, Texas. They can go to any of the Texas shows. Those purebreds will fit all of those markets. They won't fit OIE, right? They're too old for OIE, but they'll basically fit everywhere else. That was 317-4. OIE still July 1. We've got 19-10 coming. This would be one of my favorites. This is lot 29. I think there's a lot to love about this belted JoJo daughter. She's a JoJo kingpin. Her mother would have been a calico that sold through this sale as a bred gilt. Her mom would be a littermate to a boar we had here at the farm we called Split. Would have been a direct kingpin son. Again, JoJo on the top, kingpin on the bottom. This is another one we've got bred to Good News. And, you know, Good News is the kind of boar that I really feel like we needed to take him to pin set, some power behind, some real muscle behind. And I think this one's got it. I think this is a really complimentary mating. I love the skeletal makeup of this one. She's extra heavy duty. I think she really represents the JoJo kind very well. Again, that's 19-10, lot 29. She's a JoJo kingpin, bred to Good News. And Good News is the maternal brother to Kong. He's quite frankly on Kong's mom. Coming behind her right there, Boots has got 220-8. 220-8 is a derivative of 31-8. That was the top seller in this sale in 2021. 220-8 would be lot 21. Lot 21, she's a For the Good, Goosebumps, Dirty Deal. Again, that Dirty Deal sow in her pedigree would be the top seller in 2021 that Ben Cooley would have bought. This one's due a little bit later. She's bred to Magic Box. She's due the end of July. We had a tremendous group of Magic Box pigs born there late February, early March. And that set of pigs legitimately made me want to breed half the farm to them again. I think that's boars. It's so sometimes the easiest ones to forget about are the ones in your own barn. And that's a boar that set of pigs really spurred the interest for us to run him through again. And you can look at the breeding records of that set of sows. We weaned a bunch of them. Anything that didn't have Magic Box pigs got bred basically to that boar. And this mating she's carrying would be a product of that effort. Again, this is 220-8, lot 21. She's a For the Good, Goosebumps, bred to Magic Box. If you tuned in last night, Boots stole my thunder on this sow. Kevin teed up a question. I was all excited to answer it. And Boots beat me to it. This is lot 19. This is 234-8. I've got a few friends that they really, really like to put pressure on me. They know who they are if they're listening. That peer pressure, you know, I don't want a list of 15. I want a list of 7, and I don't want a list of 7. I want you to narrow it down to 2. And then if I was there with a gun, I want you to narrow it down to 1. And if you made me pick a favorite, this would probably be it. This is lot 19, 234-8. She's a trenches, kingpin, dirty deal. Her mom would be 8-9 that sold last year in the sale. That was a belted kingpin. We sold 5 of those kingpin daughters, those 8s. The mother of this one was 8-9. She would have had the gilt that Mikey T would have had this winter that won her division at Breeders' Cup and then was at OYE. We've got a sister to that gilt in the open gilt section out of this sow that I think you'll really appreciate. She'd be a Magic Box daughter. This sow had Kongs this winter. We've got a 112-litter boar that we're very, very excited about. His picture's in the catalog. The litter mates to him are on feed and look very good. Based on what we saw out of Wide Awake this time, I think this is the perfect mating for Wide Awake. And where he worked for us, 2 of our very best litters of the spring were Wide Awakes on sows that were mere carbon copies of this one in terms of the way they're built, their proportionality, their chub, their center body dimension. This one's stoutness and yet attractiveness, the way her rear leg functions and works. Again, this is 234-8, lot 19. She's a trenches daughter, bred to Wide Awake. Max has got lot 3. This is 114-8. She's solid white. We're also going to offer a direct daughter of this sow that's also solid white, and they are mirror images of each other. In fact, if you've looked at the sale order by now, you'll see that the mother and daughter are going to sell together. We're going to give the buyer the chance to take them both if they want to keep them together. If the buyer would rather look down the road at the future, you can take the daughter. If you want the here and now, you can take the sow. This would be the mother of probably arguably the litter of our crop last year. Those were out of then and now. There was a blue bear that the Medley family showed in Illinois that found the backdrop the entire circuit season. He made the top 5 at both the Expo and Louisville. Was a tremendous show bear. Was a then and now out of this sow. He had 2 blue sisters that the Platt family had. They showed one early and then showed the one late. The early one found the backdrop at Expo. The later one found the backdrop at Louisville and the Indiana State Fair. All 3 of those would have been mates out of this sow and then and now. There was another mate that found the backdrop at the Revival on the West Coast. Tremendous litter of pigs. She was bred to nubs. The next go around, and you're going to see a white gilt from that mating that, again, I think is a mirror image of this sow. She's a neighbor boy kingpin. The kingpin sow would be out of Cricket's mom. Neighbor boy, of course, was a cracker. He was a cracker, dirty secret, best man. There is a lot of punch in this sow. She's bred to cut the cord, and that's a white boar that we raised here. And this mating is an incredible effort, I believe, to really compound all of the good white stuff we've had here. And if you really got aspirations to raise a white herd boar or to raise a white bear that could win a big show or to raise your next white female, tune into this mating and pay attention here because I think this could be phenomenal. We'll run that boar out to you, and I think you'll agree. I think that's an incredible mating. 114-8, lot 3, bred to cut the cord. Coming behind her is 108-5, and this is a Cricket's daughter. This sow is a full sister to one that we sold last year. Her full sister would have been the mother of the Reserve Yorkshire at San Antonio. This was a repeat mating. She's a Cricket, struck a nerve, dirty secret. Struck a nerve was a Watson Yorkshire boar. The grandmother would have been a dirty secret sugar daddy. There's a lot of white in this pedigree. This one's bred to Sugar, and Sugar is the white Wide Awake son that we've got here at the farm that I think you'll agree has a big future for us and for those that used him. We expect these to be white. Again, this is 108-5. She would be lot 37 in your catalog. She's a Cricket's daughter, bred to sugar, lot 37. $148,700 is coming next. This is the dark blue. I don't know, can we still call these wagey blue ones? Kevin, is that still a proper term? Wagey blue? $148,700. This is a JoJo daughter. This has been an awesome generator for us. She's lot 8. In your catalog, she's a JoJo Shadow, Macho Man, Revolution, Space Monkey. Pretty unique pedigree. Revolution was actually a purebred point-taken son that we sold at Duncan. So a lot of really neat old stuff in her pedigree. Again, the blue one would be lot 8. That's a JoJo daughter. She's bred to Kong. She'd be the mother of a blue bear that Harper showed. He'd have been reserved light cross last weekend on the jackpot circuit. That's a pig that we've got on feed that we really like. This one's bred to Kong. I think another great example of the kind and the type that we bred to Kong where we feel like it really, really works. Karl is driving lot 6. This is the red-belted sister to lot 5. And I mentioned when I talked about lot 5 that when you see the red belt, you'll really see the 4K Red Oak, Iowa, Kirk Swanson influence in this female. And I think you can see that in this red belt. This is lot 6. She's a rule breaker, Goosebumps, Dirty Secret. Again, her sister's probably more notable relative to accomplishments, I guess you will, if you will. But this one has certainly contributed every time through the crate. She's a great pig raiser. She's had several pigs in online sales. We've got some daughters kept back. This one's bred to Good News. Based on what I'm seeing now and based on what we're seeing with Good News, I think this would be a great opportunity for those that have asked about buying a sow to keep daughters and make replacements. This is one that I would circle, highlight, star, whatever you're doing for your records. Pay attention here to lot 6. For those of you that are trying to make some replacement females, I think this is a great opportunity with 245-7. You agree, Mick? Again, the blue one's lot 8. She's the blue JoJo. The red belt is lot 6. Got another blue one coming. This is 42-4. This is another Cricket's daughter. This one would be Cricket's on Gangster Sister. The sow family behind this one goes back a long, long ways in our program. If you look in the pedigree there, there's a Kiss My Sock sow as the grandma. That would be a litter mate to the mother of the Grand Bear at OYE. The Annie Up sow would go all the way back to Dirty South's mom. A lot of good stuff here. Again, Cricket's on Gangster Sister. This is lot 36, 42-4. And again, we've got her bred to Sugar. And Sugar is the wide awake boar that we bought as a little pig from our buddy Jordan Leatherman. He's out of the same sow as Salty. If you've paid attention to the exchange catalog and the offering there at the exchange next week, Salty is going to sell in that offering. Sugar would be a maternal brother, same sow, out of wide awake, and that's how we had this one mated. Again, 42-4, lot 36. We got another one of my personal favorites coming. This would be lot 38, 31-11. I think the critics over time have maybe suggested some of our sows haven't been stout enough. And if you believe that some of our sows haven't been stout enough, Kevin, might encourage you to tune in because this one is not a sissy. This is 31-11. She is a Rusty Cage daughter. Her mother is a Provoked Dirty Secret. I've talked about this sow already, that Dirty Secret sow, 240-10. I believe was the heaviest structured blue one we've ever sold. And all of these descendants, Kevin, that I've talked about have the exact same kind of structure. It's genetic. It's heritable, highly heritable. You can certainly see it in this one. I love this sow. Now, I will maintain she does not represent the typical HH kind and probably doesn't represent the kind that have paid most of the bills around here. But if you're really into those extras, you want the outlier, you want that building block that's just a little different, That one is 10 kinds of stout. She's always been that way. She'll generate that way. We've got her bred to Kong. I mentioned early on that not all of our matings were completely complementary. This is a spot where we went power on power. You're gonna have some stuff way out there here, Mick. Home run swing, yes. This would have been like old Maxie up the plate trying to hit it over the fence. Right here. I just hope it wasn't a swing and miss. Lay off the high ones. 3111, that's lot 38. That's a personal favorite. She's a rusty cage. She's bred to Kong. Lot 38. Literally is physically unable to do much walking. She pinched a nerve in her back very early in her career. I feel very good that we can still get pigs out of her, but she's certainly not the kind to bring out in front of the public, but her daughters most definitely are. This is 103. She's an absolute. I really love this blue female that they're trying to get out here to you. We've got her bred to Cut the Cord. Again, Cut the Cord is the white feather white boar that we raised and kept. The maternal sister to this blue one is a magic box. You're going to get to see two daughters of that cricket sow. Their mom is a Crickets on Carol's sister. And that sow has been an incredible generator. So Max has got lot 103. Again, she'd be an absolute Crickets, Carol's sister. She's bred to Cut the Cord. And I will have seller's remorse when that one leaves. Based on what we're seeing on these absolute females, I think it was Boots very early on that reminded all of us that, those Boble boars, they get some credit for raising bears, but a lot of those Boble boars, generations beyond, have been supreme sow makers. Never before would be the obvious example to that. The absolute females that we've already been through the crate and the ones that are coming just really look like generators. Coming back to you here, Jim, I think the old blue one here looks like a generator, and very fond of that one. That's 103. The black one that Karl has, that is 52-6. I believe she's 109. And she is a then and now daughter, and we're going to sell then and now. You get a chance to see him here in a minute. She's a then and now JoJo. She's also bred to Cut the Cord and do the middle of June, and there's still a stigma around solid black show pigs. Boots touched on it a little bit last night. We've still got a few of these old breeders, Shane, that doesn't like these black pigs. And so we've got her bred to a white boar. You're going to have a litter of blues the first go around, and then after that you can decide how you want to approach it. But this is a then and now daughter that I really like. Study the way she's built. Study the sort of she's got feature, but she's still got extension where she needs it. That's 52-6, lot 109. And then the blue one again, the blue one again is lot 103. That's 61-8. We will see Cut the Cord, yes. Of the pair coming, the narrow-belted one is lot 108. And she's one of the more different ones in the entire offering. She's a money's on. And I think you can look at that one and just can tell that she's just different. Money's on, of course, is a swallow boar that's done an incredible job industry-wide. Those that know those swallow hogs and know their kind, they are dense-hided. They are dark-hided. They are always belted. There is very little white in those pedigrees. I think this one really represents the swallow kind. She's a money's on the top side, Steel Town on the bottom side. She's bred to Magic Box. Again, Magic Box would be the buckle up son that we've got here at the farm from Kyle Knauth. So that's the one on the far side, lot 108, that I was just talking about. The chromed up one that Max is driving that has more white is 58-14. That's an absolute JoJo, lot 107. This one's bred to wide open, and I do want to caution the buyer. This one's due here real quick. So if you tie into this one, make sure you've got a plan. Make sure you're ready to farrow her. She's got a lot of pigs in her. She's bred to wide open. I haven't talked about that boar yet, but we had a handful of those litters. I think Boots would tell you one of his very favorite pigs in the Midwest right now is a wide open that we bred. The the wide open thing, we had just enough to know that we needed a lot more, Mick. And we went back to that boar and used him with a lot more confidence this time. This is a mating right here that I would feel really good about. An absolute daughter out of a JoJo sow, bred to wide open. Again, that's 58-14. That's lot 107. Neely is driving lot 108. Again, that'd be 62-8, the money's on daughter. You talking about the frail one, Mick? Mick's picking on him over here again. For the folks that are listening, we've got our favorite field man is here, Mick Bellamy. He likes to point out the frail ones when he sees them. Mick likes big legs. Everybody likes big legs. The blue one that Boots has got here that's a little spooky is 24-12. That's lot 104. She is a repeat mating, and those that know me really well know that we rarely do that here. But the very first time we had this cricket sow bred to absolute, that would be the 4-litter. And we've got 5 of those 4-litter sows in the herd. That sow, if you were here a year ago, was the highlight of the cricket sows. She was on the cover of the catalog. She was the engine and the caboose of the picture of the catalog. That's the mom of this one last year, that blue cricket sow that went to our buddy Evan Green there in Oklahoma. So this is an absolute crickets, king of the hill. This one's bred to sugar. We've got her bred to the white, wide-awake son. I think when you see him and you see his skull, his spread, the blade that one's got, just the feature up front that he's got, I think you'll see the complementary aspect of that mating here. 24-12, lot 104. Carl's got 50-11. And this would be another absolute daughter. This is lot 106. This is an absolute Throwing Rocks. Throwing Rocks was a boar that Bob Graham had that ended up at Reese Coles. We used that boar on a couple sows, ended up with the Reserve Grand Barrow at Missouri State Fair that summer. His sister would be the mother of this one. You know, Mick, folks, not only they like to talk about big legs, they want to talk about hair. Hair this and hair that. I can't tell you that we've got a lot of that inherently bred into our sow herd, but that one right there has got it. 50-11, she's hairy, she's moderate, she's stout-featured, she's still comfortable. She's bred to the ever-popular white flag at Premium Blend. That's the white Lindner boar. Again, to reference the catalog, turn to Luke Lindner's page in the exchange offering. He's going to offer a pick of those sisters to white flag. They are impressive. If white flag's picture and reports don't impress you enough, look at his sisters, and I think you'll see a lot of value in this mating here. We used white flag on a handful of key sows. This was a mating. I had the white flag semen for a white sow. I'll be real honest with you. I did not intend to breed a belt of gilt like this to that boar, but that's what we've got, and I think it'll be to the buyer's advantage to take advantage of this opportunity here. Again, that's lot 106, 50-11. And again, Max was driving 104, 24-12. That's an absolute bred to sugar. David, you got any questions down there? Okay. I think these are the last 2 bred gilts. The one that Boots has here in front of the camera is lot 102. This is 18-3. She's an absolute, no intro, dirty secret. Her mom would be one of the 18-litter no intro sows. Her mom would be a litter mate to the mother of the Reserve Grand at Colorado. Her mom would be a litter mate to the other sow that had the Reserve Cross at Houston. Those sows have been very good generators. They worked incredibly well to absolute, and I think this female is a great example of that mating and how well it's worked. If you study the pictures of the Houston barrow on the wall in the sale room, you'll see a lot of resemblance in this female and that barrow. Again, 18-3, we've got her bred to wide awake. The boys around here will tell you that this is also not common for me to decide to use a boar like wide awake on a young female like this. But we did it. I think we learned that wide awake worked best on some of our shorter bodied sows. Boots is shaking his head yes. I think this is, first of all, I don't like selling bred gilts because I always feel like the risk and the challenge of farrowing a bred gilt it's hard. There's nothing easy about it. But if you're in the mood to buy the big scratch-off ticket or play the lottery or the big game, one of the biggest upsides in the entire offering, in my opinion, is Lot 102, Bred to Wide Awake. You've got her whole life in front of her. You've got a mating that has a tremendous amount of value here at the start. She's backed by a sow lineage. It's been very, very good for us. 18-3, Lot 102, Bred to Wide Awake. Conversely, I think Max is driving one of the more overlooked and underrated ones in the sale. This is 59-7, Lot 105. This is an absolute goosebumps pretty boy. The pretty boy sow on the bottom side was one of my favorite gilts of all time at the slap barn. When she came here, she was always referred to that. She had that George Watson skull, Kevin. I mean, just you could tell her from a mile away what she was. But she had that goosebumps in her that really sort of balanced it out. This one's out of absolute. This one's a litter mate to the Reserve Grand Bear at the Kentucky State Fair last summer. And this one's bred to Tricked 4. And that would be the clone of Tricked Out that we use the most here at the farm. He's done an awesome job for us. We've got some pigs on the show circuit right now that are feeding well. They're doing well. Really, really like this mating on this particular female. And again, relative to some of her contemporaries, I would suspect this one will be underrated and undervalued, Mick, when we get to the sale time. Don't overlook this one if you're really thinking big picture long term. That's Lot 105, 59-7. Okay, we're going to get to a couple of the for sure highlights here of the entire offering. This is Lot 2. In Lot 2, I could talk for a long time. You get tired of it if you aren't already, about this sow, what she's done, her mother, her grandmother, the sow family here. This is a JoJo Kingpin. She's a JoJo Kingpin curtain call. Her mom is a 15-liter Kingpin, which means she'd be a mate to the one at Trogdon's in Illinois. She'd be a mate to the one that's at True's, and she'd be a mate to the one that's at the Day and Hofschulte firm there in Oklahoma. This sow would have had a $126,000 litter in December, Kevin, out of Kong. The best male pig in that litter is at Upper Hand. The other best male in that litter is at Mollett's, and I say the other on both of them because depending on who you are and when you saw them, they were both the best. Those gilts got scattered out at some of the very best show homes in the country. She had all outs this last time. We kept those gilts. We kept the males. She had then and nows the time before that, and that was the bear that Max showed that was third overall at Breeders' Cup. That barrow's got a sister at the Slap Barn that I'm hoping can fill the very big shoes that this one's going to leave empty when she leaves. Her sister, 6212, would have had the... What did he bring? $105,000 boar in the January sale that's at Premium Blend. And Jake, I know, is very, very, very excited about that pig. I can tell you and share with you that they've named him One and Only. He was 111-1 was his notch. He was also a Kong out of this sow's sister. And I tell you that because you're not just buying this sow. You are buying a sow family of history, of genetic material that's been outstanding for us. I haven't really even described the sow to you yet, but you can see how comfortable this one is. You can see just how elegant and feminine she looks, and yet huge in her arm, big in her feet, stout in her indicators. She's really comfortable. You know, this one, when we bred her, and the guys know, we made the decision together. We bred this one to Unrivaled because I really felt like whether we ferret her here or the buyer ferret her elsewhere, this was an opportunity to ring the bell at perfect timing. She's due the middle of July. I think that's the perfect wheelhouse for that little old pig sale they have there in Oklahoma. And whether those pigs are sold at perfect timing or holy smoke or your backyard, it doesn't matter. I think they'll be tremendous. She's bred to Unrivaled. That was the swallow boar that sold there a year ago. Incredibly popular. I don't think anyone got many bred to that boar because everybody wanted to breed a couple. And you're getting a chance at one of two that we have bred to him, Kevin. 2. 6211, Lot 2. She's undoubtedly one of the very best ones we've ever sold in this format. She'll be for sale tonight, lot 2, 62-11. Oh, well, like 10th or 12th or I don't know, down the line. 3rd. This is lot 1. We, collectively, and I tell folks this a lot, I feel like the luckiest guy in the world that I've got Karl and Boots to help me with a lot of the tough decisions around here. It might sound trivial to some, but trying to decide this sale order, trying to decide the catalog, trying to determine what the offering should look like, those are big boy decisions that I don't make alone. I consult the guys. We have lots of conversation about it. There was never any doubt that this was going to be lot 1. It's been a minute since we've had a blue lot 1, Kevin. But I think this one, if there ever was one that could exemplify what a lot 1 sow might need to look like, Mick, I think they ought to look like this one. This is 137-9. She's a Trench's daughter. And I do want to point out that we have 3 Trench's daughters in the sale, and they're all way up the line. They're incredible. And we're going to sell some frozen semen on Trench's, and a wise guy might buy that and make some of their own. This one is a show gilt, did a lot of winning for the Murphy family. She won the light crosses at Missouri State Fair. We kept a herd boar out of her first litter that we call Nubs. He's an absolute son, and his sister is the only daughter that we have to carry the torch. Her second litter yielded the Grand Barrow overall at Indiana State Fair last summer. That was a solid white pig out of pace card that the Rodabaugh family showed and won with on the dirt in the Coliseum at the Indiana State Fair. Her third litter, she was bred to Fast Track, the boar that I've mentioned a time or two, that Hilty bred, that's at Moyers. That litter grossed, I believe, 70-something thousand here in our spring pig sale at the spring showcase. She only had 5 pigs. They were all males. We sold all 5 of them in the sale. They found great homes. In fact, I think at least one of them is still intact. We've got her bred to wide open. And I've mentioned a time or two, those wide open pigs were some of our very best this spring. I know Boots is very bullish on those pigs. In fact, I used the boar the first time because Boots loved that pig at Keplinger's before he went to Premium Blend. I think we've got her teed up again for you, and I think this one's a long ways from done. Her mother, the Cracker Sow, we've got, I think, 4 absolute daughters out of that sow. That Cracker Sow would have sold a year ago. She had the champion light cross at St. Angelo. That sow was an incredible generator. You know, her feature, her hair, her foot size, her bone, her comfort, her looseness, all of that's real, and she's generated to boot. This one, again, lot 1, bred to wide open. I said this earlier, but if you're really sincerely serious about trying to make better blue ones, it's a whole lot easier if you start with something like this. Kevin, she'll kick it off tonight. Lot 1. Mick even approves. How about that? Okay, we're back. I think we got our soundboards overheating. Probably means I'm talking too much. This is 5-5. This is the last of the direct King of the Hill daughters on the farm. And not only is she a King of the Hill daughter, she's got red 7 in her pedigree. This one's got a long line of really good sows back in there. She goes back to the red-headed sow I talked about earlier. This is lot 40 in your catalog. 5-5. She's a King of the Hill, red 7. Her great-grandmother would be that red-headed swagger sow that I talked about that would have had the reserve grand bear at Fort Worth in 2016. That's an all-time top 5 pig of mine. We've got this one bred to Wild Ride. And Wild Ride, of course, is the boar there at Crossroads. It's had an incredible run. Our good buddy Hilty would have sold a Wild Ride daughter a couple nights ago for a lot of dollars out of Wild Ride. Her brother, Mainline, there at Halfins, has been an incredibly popular boar there in the industry. He's a Wild Ride. I think sometimes it's a tragedy that not enough of these boars get a second crop or a second chance. And we were late to the party, admittedly, on Wild Ride, but Boots kept insisting that we go back and do this. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 sows bred to him, and we're going to share a couple of those key ones in this offering. Again, this is 5-5, lot 40. She's a King of the Hill, red 7, bred to Wild Ride. If you look in the catalog, this is the mother of Annika Riekoff's 5th overall market hog at Exarban last time. I want to mention that was a Dirty Trick, and Dirty Trick was a tricked-out son. So this sow is definitely capable of producing the kind that can get to the backdrop. Again, that was lot 40. This is 3-5. This is a gangster. This one is not a sissy, Mick. This one's a litter mate to a bear that was 3rd in his division at the Ohio State Fair. This is lot 32. She's a gangster kingpin Liquid Courage. The Liquid Courage sow would have originated from Fecky's. She would have been the mother of Geyer's Reserve Grand Bear at Illinois State Fair. That was a JoJo. Her next litter, she got bred to Kingpin, and of those Kingpins we sold last year, the stoutest one, undoubtedly the stoutest one, was 11-6. And that's the mom of this one. The feature, the stoutness, the bone and foot that you see in this one, that is real. It's very real. This is the other one we've got bred to Wild Ride. I can't tell you that I'm the expert on how we need to mate that boar, but based on what we've been told and what we've learned, I feel like we did the right thing here, and we've got this sow bred to Wild Ride. Her tricked 4-litter in particular was very good. But this sow, I mean, in terms of foot size, bone, feature, and just sheer stoutness, she excels the group. And you could probably maintain that she's an outlier in that area amongst a very, very good contemporary group of sows. That's 3-5, lot 32. One of the sows that I've fielded maybe as many questions about as any is this lot 20. And lot 20 is a -8. Honey Nut Dirty Deal. Her grandmother would have been that top-selling sow in 2021 that went to Ben Cooley there at Flatland. This is 75-15, lot 20. And, Mick, we talked about swinging for the fence and trying to hit a home run earlier. I think this is another mating where we were swinging for the fence. This was not probably the complimentary kind, but this -8 sow is bred to Kong. And, as Kong matings go, this is clearly power on power. I mean, this one's got feature. She's got spread. She's arguably as proportional as anything we've got in the sale relative to her length of body. I would maintain that she's still long enough hipped. She's still long enough fronted. She's still got length where she needs it. But that is a very stout female that we've got mated to Kong. -8, again, was a Stay Classy, Blind Luck, verbatim Roxy. Blind Luck was a Annie Up son. Stay Classy was a pig that Hilty raised out of an open gilt from us. He sent, I saw the pig online. I said, hey, that one maybe needs to stay intact. What do you think? And he said, yeah, that's a good idea. Hilty grew him up in his slap barn. All of a sudden one day he sent me a snap video of this belted boar standing there at the feeder in his slap barn. And I did one of those, oh my's, what do we got here? And he said, well, that's our boar pig. And that was Dash 8. And Hilty and I used them almost exclusively the first time, and then he sold through the exchange and ended up at SGI. But the set of sows that we've got out of Dash 8 have been very good. They've been great contributors, and I think they really sort of put an exclamation mark on Stay Classy and his ability to have staying power in our industry. I mean, Dash 8 would be a derivative of Stay Classy. You've got all of that here again. That's lot 20 bred to Kong. What? That's the rest of the story. Okay, if you've had time to study your catalog at all, you see that we've got 4 sisters, the 15s that are in the catalog, lot 11, 12, 13, and 14. And these are gangsters out of the Dirty 239 sows, we called her. The one in the lead there is 15-7. She was always the smallest one. And she's the one that, if you look at their sire history, is a litter behind her sisters. The one behind her is 15-12. Again, those would be Gangster, Dirty 239, Drop and Swag. And again, as I mentioned earlier, their mom, 217-13, over the course of her career, we kept more direct daughters out of this sow than any other sow in the history of our program. And the reason we did that, it wasn't, early on, it was never an intentional thing. But it was a result of those gilts being the right kind when we were sorting to go to the slap barn as little ones. They were still the right kind when we were culling. And they were still the right kind when we were keeping, Tom. They were always the right kind. And as we get here today and look at these sows, I would maintain they're still the right kind. Boots has got 15-13. That's lot 13. So the one Boots has is bred to Wide Awake. The one Karl has is bred to Wide Open. The one that Max has been chasing is also bred to Wide Awake. If you ever had a chance to see their mother, the one Boots is driving and the one Max is driving really, really, really look like mom. The one Boots has is probably just a nickel shorter. The one Max has probably looks almost identical to that old sow. And then the one coming here last is 15-9. And this is the most accomplished of the group relative to the show ring. We've got a daughter out of Baskin in this sow. 36-7 would be her notch. Biscuit there at Purple Power. Danner Livestock, he is very excited about his sister. She would have had, what did he tell me the other day? A pig at Reserve Division something at Houston. Was it Houston? I think it was Houston was out of his Baskin sow. So Reserve Light, there you go. The one Boots has is 15-9. That's lot 11. And she's bred to Kong. Now, what's important here is that the one Karl has, 15-7, they've already had Kongs. Those were really good litters. The one Boots is driving, she has not had Kongs yet. And I would argue that that's going to be the best mating to Kong of the 4 is the one Boots is driving. That's why we've got her bred that way. These have been awesome sows. They're good pig raisers. They make the right kind. Their mom had tremendous, tremendous staying power in our program. Again, that's 11, 12, 13, and 14. Gangster, Dirty 239. One of them is bred to Kong. One of them's bred to Wide Open. 2 of them are bred to Wide Awake. Okay, you know, one of the things that we're the most proud of in 23 and 24 was the set of Kingpin daughters. And I think I warned folks and I told folks that eventually that well was going to run dry, and we're almost there. And it doesn't mean, as I wrote in the catalog, it doesn't mean that they're extinct just yet. But the ones that we have are either this vintage, or we've got a couple litters there of younger ones right before we lost him. This is 279-5. This is lot 10. I swear that this sow sort of had her own agenda. She never seemed to want to breed the last couple of years when we needed her to breed for the sale. She always escaped the sale and managed to do it another time. She had a tremendous litter of Kongs in our January sale. Those were the 105s. Perky shows me a video of a bear out of that litter on a regular basis. It's on the West Coast that Brady Otto's got that looks incredible in video. Would be a pig out of this sow and Kong. We kept a boar out of that litter. We've got her bred to wide open this time. This sow would be a Kingpin Dirty Secret Calcutta. If you go 3 more generations in there, you're gonna get to all of the really good stuff from the early days of our program. I think this sow really exemplifies the Kingpin kind, her look, her balance, her comfort, her skeletal durability. She's got the right kind of extension. And again, I've said before, those Kingpin sows, they really were a buffer to all of the bad junk that we had in a lot of our boars over the last couple of years. I mean, they were really the neutralizer for a lot of folks. They really made the good, and they eliminated the bad. That sow can do that still, and she's still got some life in her. I'm not going to tell you she's a spring chicken, because she's not. But don't underestimate what a sow like that could still do and could still contribute for anybody's program over the next few litters. That's 279.5, lot 10. Boots has got another one of my personal favorites. I hope I haven't used that phrase too many times to wear it out, but this is lot 4, 61-10. I did tell you that we only had 3 trenches sows in the sale. Lot 1, lot 4, and lot 19. You've seen 2 of them. This is lot 4, 61-10. The one Boots has, it's Carl's playing defense. He's blocking him. This one's a favorite of pretty much everybody here, and I think you can probably see why. This sow is a littermate to a bear that was second in a very tough class at Houston. And from that point on, as a keeper gilt, she was always one that we had a lot of expectation for. She would have had most recently a litter at a wake-up call that was in the spring showcase, Kevin. We sold a male really high out of that litter. We sold a gilt. Our good buddy Trucker Bob's got there in Ohio that he's very proud of out of this particular sow. She had absolutes in that very first crop, and those were the 258s. And we've got 4 sisters in that litter that I promise you will hear about someday in the Built the Brand sale if we get the opportunity to continue doing this. They are extra stout. They are extra good. Those are the 258s. This sow's been phenomenal. In her wake-up call litter, there were 16 pigs out of this sow. She's done a lot for us. She's the only one bred to woke. If you've paid any attention to the Pig Planet, if you've paid any attention to the pigs that sold this spring, if they're out of woke, they fetched a premium. If they're out of woke, they're finding the backdrop. It's really that simple, Kevin. We've got her teed up for the next guy's success. I think this is, you know, if you're only worried about ROI, she's got to be in your top 5. If you're only worried about building, she's got to be in your top 5. If you really want the front pasture kind, she's got to be in your top 5. That's lot 4, 61-10. Really, really love that sow. She's bred to woke. Carl's got 254-7. This is a disciple daughter out of the Hilty Kingpin sow. This one's a litter mate to a boar that we called Sturdy. This one's mom is more famous for being the mother of the record-setting gilt we sold at Perfect Timing. That would have been the gilt that True Genetics bought. Her brother was Simply Put, that was at Premium Blend. Her other brother was Move the Needle, that was here at the farm. This one would have come out of the litter before that, and out of Disciple that was at SGI. So again, she's a Disciple, Kingpin, Red Alert. And I do want to point out, this one's, the Red Alert sow in the pedigree is also the same sow that you'll see in Quite Frankly's pedigree. It's the same Red Alert sow. And we've got this one bred to a Quite Frankly son. We've got her bred to Good News. which is the maternal brother to Kong. I've had several people text me and ask me for female opportunities to build around. They want to buy a sow where they can keep the daughters. Make sure you've got 2 stars next to this one. She raises lots of pigs. We've got her mated for that approach to try to keep daughters and build a sow herd. We think we've got her teed up for that. That's 254-7, lot 31. Boots and Carl really, really like this sow. And I give them a shout out because they've asked about this one, and I think initially they wondered why she was in here. This is a Jug's daughter out of 230-6, and 230-6 was Carl's favorite one that we sold last year. She was a kingpin that John Mollett bought. She was one of the top sellers. She's a kingpin Dirty South. This would be a direct Jug's daughter out of that sow. And Jug's was a no intro that we bought from Cooper Flash at PT. And I think you can see a really neat blend of parents here. I mean, Jug's was heavy duty looking, had tremendous amount of spread and muscle. He was big legged. This gilt's got her mother's extension. She's got her head. She's got her mom's front end and comfort. Again, this is 2612, lot 33 in your catalog, and she's bred to Fast Track. That's the pace car son at Moyers. Really neat young sow here. She's had 4 litters. This one is the kind, to me, that looks like she could be around for another 3 years. I mean, she's got a lot of future ahead of that one. She's never going to get too big. She's just the right size. I think a guy can have a lot of fun with that one. That was lot 33, 26-12. The next one coming, Mick, is due on Sunday. And we wrote in the catalog that if the buyer wanted us to farrow her here, we were fully prepared to do that. In fact, tonight we will probably put her in a crate in the event something like that might happen before we get her on a trailer. This is 3-15. That has happened before, yes. I heard someone say that. Thanks, Todd, for the reminder. 3-15, this is lot 18. She's a hero, dirty deal. This is a direct daughter of the top-selling sow in the 2021 sale. After Ben Cooley bought that sow, took her back to Colorado, her next litter, he bred her to Hero. And we were waiting in line at a spring pig sale to buy a daughter, and we bought this one. She was not cheap. We didn't expect her to be cheap, but we wanted another daughter out of that sow. This one's -15, and I think that's significant because that sow really had a penchant for generating big, deep litters of pigs, and she did it even after she was here for us. And that sow had true staying power. This is a testament to that sow and just how good of a generator she was. We sold a litter of smash hits out of this sow this spring. I think we had 5 of them in the February online sale and sold another one in the spring showcase. They were all calicos. I don't want to scare you. Those were calico pigs, but they were very good calico pigs, Kevin. They brought a premium. We've got this sow bred to wide open. They have no reason to believe this won't be very, very good. Again, if the buyer wants us to farrow her here, we're happy to do that. A buyer can pick up the sow and litter if that's what they desire. If you want to take her right away and get her farrowed, you can do that too. This is 3-15, lot 18. She's a hero, dirty deal. And that is officially the last sow. And now we're going to move into the open gilts. And while they're getting these open gilts out, I want to run through just a couple new opportunities this year. If you looked at the offering, you'll notice that we don't have any purebred gilts pictured. And the reason for that is really pretty simple. One of the most challenging things that we've done in the past was to try to transition purebred gilts from the slap barn to the farm, get them comfortable with their new surroundings, get them acclimated to the grass, and then try to capture a picture. We were swimming uphill the whole way. And this year we elected to only picture the crosses, and the purebreds are going to be available in the form of a pick. And so if you're looking at your catalog, lot 214, for example, high bidder gets to pick a Hampshire female out of that group of options that are at the slap barn. And the same for the Duroc, the Berkshire, and the Tamworth. High bidder will get a chance to pick a female out of that group that we've got listed. Okay, open gilt here. Carl's got 297-8, that's lot 207. Cool part about this one, this is a money moves out of Mick, that sow that was just out here. You asked, or Todd asked what her due date was, that really heavy bred 15. Okay, this is a money moves out of 15.9. Money moves, if you weren't paying attention, had a tremendous run this last time. He was a Goss Money's on son that would have sired the Houston pig. The Grand at Houston was out of Money Moves. Money Moves just relocated from 66 to Schley. But the gilt that Karl has, 297.8, is a Money Moves gangster. If you're chasing bone, I hope you can identify with the forearm and the foot and the rear leg and the sheer circumference of bone that this one's got. She is heavy duty. I think she is just a heavier duty, more modern version of her mom. Max, you may need to move so they can try to push these up the hill a little bit. The bigger belted one here that's coming into the camera view, that's 229.4. That's lot 206. She's a money's on. She's a money's on, made to order. Dirty Secret. That Dirty Secret sow would be BKS's sister. So we're going to sell a bred gilt out of money's on, and we're going to sell an open gilt out of money's on. Again, that's the ever popular swallow bred boar, a premium blend. Karl's got lot 206, money's on, made to order, Dirty Secret. The other one was a money moves. Boots has got 241-5. It's lot 208 in your catalog. This is a blackjack for the good Kingpin Pretty Girl. Pretty Girl was the very famous sow there at Swinhagen's, the rival genetics that I think nearly all of their sow herd at one point went back to Pretty Girl. We jumped at the chance to buy a Kingpin daughter out of her. We bred that sow to For the Good and bred a daughter of that mating to Blackjack, and that's how we got this gilt. The soft belt that's in front of you now, 241-5. That's lot 208. And then the one coming next to her is 232-12. That's lot 213. And she would be a head first. Head first was an absolute out of the lot 5 sow in the sale. And then this one's out of 15-12, one of those gangster sows that we just looked at. So full pedigree on the solid black one would be head first, gangster, dirty 239. She'd be lot 213. I always like to emphasize these gilts were not show gilts. They aren't broke to lead. They came straight from the slab barn probably 3 weeks ago. They've been here just long enough to learn how to eat out of this feeder here and get some sunlight. But beyond that, they have not been pampered. And we still firmly believe that that gives the buyer the advantage. When you take them home and you put them into production, they're really built and set up for your success in that scenario. I think definitely one of the features here in this open gilt portion of the catalog. This is 247-9. This is a magic box out of lot 19. And I mentioned lot 19 is probably the sow that was my most favorite in the offering. This is a magic box daughter out of that sow. This would be a litter mate to the gilt that Addie Thompson showed this winter that would have won her division at Breeders' Cup. We've got a Kong boar pig that would be a maternal brother to this gilt that we plan on using this time. He's in the catalog as well. Again, this is a direct daughter, a Magic Box daughter out of lot 19. So this pedigree would be Magic Box Trenches Kingpin 247-9. The one that Karl has is 213-8. This is lot 201. And everybody wants bone, Mick. You said they wanted big legs. We know they want a moderate, not just in height, but also in length. They want them stout featured. They still need to be comfortable. They've got to have some spread up high. And they've got to have big legs. And this lot 201, I think, does all of that. She's a then and now daughter. This is a direct daughter of then and now, the boar that we're going to sell tonight. She's a then and now on top. Her mother is an acoustic Kingpin Cricket's mom. The bone and foot and structure in this one is a real thing. There is not a big sow in her pedigree, so I don't expect this one to ever get real tall. I'm very confident there are plenty of boars in our industry that can make her frailer, Kevin, if you need to do that, or make her more exotic looking if you need to do that. But at some point, the body and dimension and that center body shape's got to come from somewhere. And we think that one's pretty unique. That's lot 201. Again, she's a then and now acoustic Kingpin Cricket's mom. Karl's got 203. This is another then and now daughter. She's a then and now Cricket's Dirty Secret. Or sorry, Cricket's Next Intention Dirty Secret. The mother of this calico gilt would have been in the sale, but she didn't preg check bred, and I was really bummed that we couldn't include her with her daughter. But again, this one would be a then and now out of a Cricket's Next Intention sow. Be lot 203 on the cheetah colored one. Neely's got one that I actually think is sort of an unheralded gilt in the group. I've told a couple folks about this one to pay attention. I think this one's got some really, really neat pieces from a generator standpoint. This is lot 212. She's a head first King Me. Never before. Her mom's actually farrowing right now. I think Graham, wherever he's running around, he's been handling that for us today, pulling pigs. And but this King Me sow on the bottom side is one of my favorite older sows on the farm. And this one's out of head first, which was the absolute rule breaker boar that we kept. King Me again was a Kingpin son. I think this one's unheralded because she's obviously not as chubby as some of these others. But if you want to know what historically an HH sow started like, a lot of them have looked like that 267-7 lot 212. If anyone is wondering what the grass gossip has turned to now, we are on Titletown, USA, Fort Cobb, Oklahoma, and all of the things from our favorite fieldman. And if you want to tune back into the hogs, we've got this white one that I mentioned early on is a replica of her mother. This is 240-9. She is a Nubs neighbor boy. Nubs, again, was an absolute on Lot 1. This is Lot 204 in your catalog. She'd be a Nubs neighbor boy. Kingpin, this white one. And I mentioned we're going to sell her in the sale order with her mother. Buyer gets a chance to buy them both if they want. They can pick the sow, pick the daughter, or Kevin. If they want to open the gate and take them both home and be miles ahead, they can do that too. But that's Lot 204, 240-9 would be the solid white one you're seeing on screen here finally. Exactly like her mama, yes. The blue one that Neely has, it's the farthest away from me. That's 242-4. She's out of modern day. Her mom would be a modern day Steeltown Provoked. That's Lot 205. If you were here last year, remember we had several key sows bred to modern day, and I think this blue gilt really represents the kind of pigs that we had out of the boar and the keeper gilts that we've got. And then the last blue one that we'll try to get here turned around to the camera. This is one that I'm pretty fond of. I talked about her maternal sister at length. This is 225-8. She's Lot 210 in your catalog. She's a maternal sister as Lot 103, the bred gilt. So if you remember, we're going to sell the 103 bred gilt, and we're going to sell this Lot 210 open gilt, and they share the same cricket sow. That sow is a Crickets on Carol's sister. So this would be a Magic Box Crickets. I really, really like this blue female. When you see Magic Box and see her sire in a minute, I think you'll understand why this one looks the way that she does. But again, she's a maternal sister to Lot 103. The solid white one, again, was Lot 204, 205, and 210 was that trio of light cross open gilts. We've got lot 202, I believe, is the cheetah-colored one. That's another direct daughter of Then and Now. That's 202-6. She's a Then and Now provoked. Cool part about this one, she's out of the same provoked sow that had the reserve Grand Barrow at at Ohio a few years ago, and that sow has been very good. That sow had wide awakes this time. There's a barrow out east that I think looks very, very good for this summer. You know, we wanted you to get a really good representation of what Then and Now sires, and you know, this gilt I think really represents his kind. Very, very durable skeleton, a really good look. Their proportionality, I think, is on point. They flesh when they need to. They're still very attractive. They've got muscle. I think their skeleton's certainly above average relative to their bone and feature. But that's 202-6, lot 202. The one Max has, the white socked one, that's the 292. This one's kind of got a neat pedigree. I think down the road here we'll really get into some of these. This one's lot 211. But she's out of deep end on the top side. That's an absolute son. The mother of this one is actually an Anthem out of Iggy. Iggy was a cob purchase that I made with my good buddy Adam Sanders at the World Pork Expo a few summers ago. Wanted to get some cob influence there on the south side. That sow is a godfather never before. We bred her to Anthem, the first litter, and kept a daughter. That'd be the mom of this socked gilt. Iggy had a tremendous litter out of Kong this time, and there's a boar pig at Purple Power that they bought as a baby that looks good, very, very good. That pig's got a mate brother that's already found the backdrop on the circuit. So this Iggy sow family, we've been very stingy on those females. We've held on to them for a good reason. This would be the first chance you're going to get to buy a derivative of that sow. That's lot 211, 292-8. That's the black one with white socks. The calico is 202-6. Okay, that concludes the female offering as it is, and we're going to move into these boars. If you're tuning in, the first boar up here, this is Then and Now. And we're going to sell Then and Now as Lot B in the catalog, and he will sell just after we sell those three daughters, Kevin. So we're going to sell those three open gilts, and then we'll give you a chance to buy their sire. Then and Now was purchased from Hofschultes. Boots would have seen this pig on his way to Coba. He told the folks last night he drove down to make fun of me when I judged Coba. Saw this pig at Hofschultes. He told me, if you do anything on your drive home, you've got to stop there and look at this pig. And I did, and after I saw him, I spent the whole way home trying to figure out how to buy him. Reached out to Sloan's and Hilty's. We teamed up with Hofschultes to buy this pig privately. He came here to the hill, and we've had him exclusively since that point. And you know, collectively, the group of us breeders, we've been the only ones that have used him. I hope that you've seen some evidence today that would suggest that this boar's certainly got a place in our business. He will generate structure. He will generate the right kind of look. He will generate the right kind of proportions for modern-day competitiveness. I do believe the females are going to be next level good going forward. He's an in-game hero, dirty secret. I think this boar's still got a lot of future and a lot of life left. Great opportunity for a boar stud to tap in here and sell semen, which has never been offered. A great opportunity for a breeder that wants to inject some real structure, a real pedigree of influence here with Then and Now. I think this is a great chance for someone to do that. Again, he will sell his Lot B in the sale order right after we sell his three daughters, Lot 201, 202, and 203. That's Then and Now. The next one coming into view will be Magic Box. When that first set of buckle ups started to sell, it became pretty apparent that we needed a son. We needed to inject some of that into our program. And we found that really quickly in this pig that Canals had bred. I'm sure it was Ellen's intent to make this one, or maybe it was Kyle's, I'm not sure. But this one is a buckle up. Never before his mom would be one of the 81 litter sows that have been so influential in their program. This one's out of 81 flop. Karl has seen this one's mom Boots has seen this one's mom. She's a very, very impressive older sow there at Canals. Buckle up on the top side. This boar really stamps that rear leg. He really stamps that look. They've got extra bone. They've got muscle. Kyle used him a little bit the first crop. He's got several sows bred to him. This sow used him substantially more this time. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about a couple of the matings in this sale, I mean, that last set of pigs we've got in the barn was a great reminder for me that we had to go back, and we had to go back and use this boar again. Again, this is Magic Box. He's a buckle up, never before, from Canals. We're going to keep the action going here. Next up is going to be our boar that we just offered and sold in the NSR draft last week. We were very proud to offer this boar to the public. Felt like he was a great representation of our Duroc program, our Duroc approach. And we're certainly very, very pumped that TBRO and the Thompson crew there in Ohio bought this one. He brought 77.5 in the auction. He started the sale and sold his lot 1. He's a Burnin' Roses on the top side. His mom would be a Cry About It, or a Crybaby Rip. She would be a littermate sister to Cry About It, which makes her a maternal sister to Statement Day. Burnin' Roses is a Crybaby on the top side out of 305's mom. So you have last drop 318.11 on top, last drop 318.13 on bottom. This boar really represents our approach to continue to intertwine our sow pedigrees around here. Todd, if you remember in the exchange 2 summers ago, we offered choice of the males and choice of the females out of Statement Day's mom and Crybaby. The gilt that we were left with would be the mother of this boar pig. So again, his pedigree is Burnin' Roses, Crybaby, Rip. And here very soon, this boar will make his way to TBRO in Ohio. And Brock and Luke Thompson will have the say-so on what happens next. But that was our draft entry. I do want to point out that one of his littermate sisters, -8, is in the list of lot 215. And that means in that group of Duroc gilts, the high bidder will have the choice of that group of reds at the slap barn. And I can't wait until that choice comes someday when they get to pick between that group of red females, because they are good. And one of those would be a littermate sister to our draft boar. I just got a text that said, are the open gilts guaranteed to breed? And yes, the answer is yes. The open gilts are guaranteed to breed. The bred females are guaranteed to be bred. The open gilts are guaranteed to breed. Another one of the more exciting things about this year's offering is Lot A. And if you've seen any of our work on social media here leading up to the sale, we've really spent a lot of time looking back at the last decade of this sale and this approach. And we've been asked a couple times about full circle moments. I mean, what do those full circle moments look like that sort of tie together past sales and present day? One of those was a gilt that we sold 2 summers ago. We sold half interest in 54.8. She was a top seller at $37,000. Weston Charles of Allied Genetics in Colorado bought her, and we bred that sow to Kong for her second litter. And this pig is a product of that mating. This one was a lot of fun to see in the nursery. It was clearly God's plan that this one survived a really tough season there in the Fairing House. But we're very excited to have him here today. We didn't want to sell the boar. We didn't really want to sell a piece of the boar, but we are going to offer 50 doses on the boar. High bidder gets a chance at the start there to dictate how many doses they want. And we're going to sell semen until all 50 doses are gone. So far, he's been named 17 around here. He's just always been 17. Certainly, the boar deserves a better name than that if the buyer of some of the semen has a great idea. But right now, he's 17 to us. -1. This is a Kong OCD Dirty Lovin'. Again, he's out of the top selling gill from a couple years ago. Kong on the top side. I think Boots really summed it up last night. You know, relative to the Kong thing, I think maybe the public perception is they're incredibly stout. They might be too short. They might be too stout. They might be too compact. I think this one's so unique in his ability to be long where he needs to be long, be attractive and very immature where he needs to be immature, and yet still bring foot quality, toe quality, the right kind of bone, the right kind of immaturity, and still has muscle to go with it. His grandmother, that Dirty Lovin' sow, has been very influential for our program, and we're very excited to offer semen on this young boar here tonight. Again, that semen will sell as Lot A. We're going to offer 50 doses, and that will effectively be the opportunity to use this boar the remainder of 2025. The first guy buys, he can take all 50. Yes, sir. Increments of 2. Yep. You're good, Perk. Okay, so the run of show, what about the 376s? Can we show those to the, or probably not? Okay, so that's going to conclude our live preview here today for the Built the Brand. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you've been online, thanks for watching. Again, if you were online and you didn't get a great look of lot 207 or lot 34 or whatever it is, go to showpig.com. All of the sow videos and the narrated comments from Boots and I can be found there. We're going to start the sale tonight promptly at 7 o'clock Central Time. We hope that we're going to give you plenty of time to study your lesson, reach out and ask questions. If you've got questions, we've got plenty of folks here that have seen them in person, and or you can certainly text one of us here at the farm. But again, thanks for tuning in. That'll be the live portion of the preview. Look forward to the auction tonight at 7 o'clock.